Are you tired of living paycheck to paycheck? How long have this been a process that you're trying to get out of? Well, today we're going to explore 7 different ways in which we can implement strategic measures to ensure that we no longer need to be living paycheck to paycheck. Let's explore those. Welcome back to Ira Living. Today we're going to be looking at 7 strategic ways in which we can stop living paycheck to paycheck. Now, for those of you who are unsure what it means living paycheck to paycheck, that is where as soon as you get your pay into your account, you spend that money off sorting out the different expenditures that you have to look after. And before you even get to the middle of the time period through which you get paid, whether it's midway through the week or by the end of the first week if it's fortnightly, or by the middle of the month, most of that money is finished. And you cannot wait for the next paycheck to arrive so that you can actually process some of the other financial demands that you have. Now, what we're going to look at are 7 ways in which you are able to stop this cycle of paycheck to paycheck living and then start to live your life without needing to have so much worry and concern about money and your expenditures. The first one is to change your mindset about money. Money is not a means to reward yourself. Money is a tool that you use to work to acquire more money. And so even if you work and earn, hence the reason you are getting a paycheck, then what you need to be looking at is figuring out a way in which you can find a means of creating an investment fund through saving some of that money and explore a investment vehicle that you can use to invest some of that money so that eventually you are creating more money with that investment vehicle and needing to rely less on your paycheck each month. Number 2 is to make a budget so that you're able to track your spending. Now, when you're spending money and you're unsure about how you're spending it and where you're spending it, it can sometimes get out of hand. So in order to have a handle on it, it's a good approach to have a budget so that you are able to track where you're spending, how you're spending, and ensure that you're directing your money in the places that it actually needs to go, so that you are not just living in the now, but you're also putting aside and planning for the future. Number 3 is to consider your means of generosity. So this might mean that you need to pay your tithe, or you need to give money that you're giving to wherever you make donations, as well as giving to yourself, which is towards your saving. And these are things that you need to prioritize and do first out of the monies that you're earning. So that way you are making the things that need to be a priority becoming a priority. And in so doing, those savings, for example, might be the seeds of your investment fund that you are then going to be able to invest and start to allow that money to grow and create more money in the process. Number 4 is to stop paying interest. Now, each time you have a credit card, or you take out a higher purchase, or you have a store card, or any other form of credit that you take out, what it is causing you to do is to pay out a considerable amount of money to interest to the person to whom you owe that money. And what you want to be able to do is to ensure that when you do have to use these lines of credit, you pay them off before the interest period begins. So that way you are not spending lots of your money just paying off interest to an organization or a company, simply because you haven't been able to manage how to clear off your debt before the interest periods begin. Number 5 is to monitor or reduce subscriptions and contracts. So what this allows you to do is to make sure that the subscriptions that you actually have are subscriptions that you're using actively, and also that you're paying for those subscriptions at a rate that is most economical. Also, the contracts, when you go and review your contracts and update them, it allows you an opportunity to negotiate new fees and therefore hopefully be able to pay less on each of those, so that you're maximizing the value of where your money is going and how you're spending your money, so that you're benefiting from it. And where you're not benefiting, or where it's not being good value for your money, you're able to find a way to either reduce that outgoing or eliminate it in its entirety. Number 6 is to save pay increases or bonuses. Now, when you get a pay increase, if you're able to live your life without the increase as you were living before, then there's no need to also scale up your expenditure now that you have a pay increase. Instead, what you need to do is to put that away and make that go towards part of the money that you're saving. And then you will have that money to also invest. Additionally, in the same way, Any bonuses that you get is money that you should find a way how to invest so that you're not spending it and then losing out on the opportunity that you would have to grow that money in an investment vehicle. Number 7, invest in a high yielding or tax-free savings account. This way, you're getting the maximum amount of interest on the money that you're saving over the period of time for which that interest rate is active. Equally, it also means that if you're in a tax-free savings account, that you are not going to be paying tax on the amount of money that you are earning as interest on the account that you've set up. All of these different techniques and methodologies help to build out a portfolio for you so that your finances are being utilized in the way that will maximize your opportunities of growing more and building out a greater portfolio in the future. It also helps to quickly take you off the path of living paycheck to paycheck, where you're worried about whether or not you're going to be able to cover your expenses for your next month or your next pay point period. And now you can start to look at how you can build out more investment opportunities for yourself to reduce your dependency on that paycheck. Remember, financial literacy is revolutionary. It has transformed my life, and I believe it can do the same to yours.